Good afternoon. This is Wayne Bilal with another smart profit maximizing moment. Profit maximizer moment. I know I can do this. Today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about raising your prices. Yes, I understand. We're in the middle of a recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. The economy's down. I shouldn't be raising my prices now. Well, actually, probably should be raising your prices now. It's as simple as that. Why should you raise your prices? Well, the book that I put out recently, and you really do need to get a copy of it, the 90-Day Profit Reset. The subtitle you can't really read, so I'll read it to you. Gain your independence from reduced cash flow, shrinking margins, and evaporating customer base. Well, in truth, raising prices affects all three. You have higher income, you have higher sales, you're going to have more cash. You have higher sales, you increase your sales from that, and it improves your margin. All right, if you're selling something for $1 and it cost you 50 cents, you got a 50% profit margin. If you raise that to $1.20, you've automatically increased your profit margin. All right, so why should you raise your price? Well, a lot of reasons. I mean, first of all, you don't want to be known as the cheapest person on the block. A lot of times that gives the impression that your product isn't that good. And if you're selling a service, you're not that confident in yourself. You don't really know what you want. There's no value. So, you really, and truthfully, it's part of the reason why I brought the book up. I spend a lot of time, if you get the book, it's starting on page 29, on whether you should raise prices, okay? And like I said, and how. I spend a good amount of time on how and what's the right way and what things you should consider. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. The decision to raise prices is definitely a tough one. I really do get it. I've struggled with it more than once, all right? I must be getting there. First time ever, my coach actually said I probably am thinking about pricing something too high. That's like in 3-4 years. That might be the first time that's ever happened, which is one of the reasons to get a coach, to talk you out of the head trash you have about it. I'm going to lose clients, all right? It's tough. Two companies in the same industry that raise prices at the same time can have tremendously different results depending on how you plan. Successful price increases depend on timing and perceived value of the product in your customer's mind. That's important. You have to know the perceived value of the client to the client. I mean, we have to know this, okay? So first, you have to decide, should you raise your prices? My argument is yes, all right, almost every time. But here's some things you want to talk about. What are your profit margins? How does that compare to your industry standard? Have your cost increased? Are you charging what you're worth if you're selling a service? That's important. Are you selling what you're worth? Okay? Are you getting paid for the value that you bring? This is dangerous when the model is you're going to sell your hourly time. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm faster than I was and I'm better than I was. So, I mean, should I charge by the hour because I've gotten quicker and I have better procedures? No, not really. And clients hate hourly charges. So, you sell value. I mean, let's say, and this isn't really true, but let's say I can do a tax plan in 5 hours. Let's say I want to make $200 an hour, just make the math easy, that's $1,000. Is that a deal? It depends. I've done some tax plans last year where I saved $500,000. Doesn't seem like I'm value billing, is it? So price is very, very elastic. We don't think it is. Now, if you're selling a product, you got a little bit more of a problem because I can go online and see what that product's worth. So how do I add value to that? All right. Let me see. All right. I'll get to that. Let's come back to the value part. So the second thing I want you to do is to clarify and write down the reasons for the price increase, including all the details about the value, benefits, and advantages of your product. There you go. What is the value? What is the advantages? What are the benefits? All right. You're selling benefits. I don't buy a lawnmower because I want a piece of machinery to store in my garage. I get a lawnmower because I'd rather not cut the grass, with a pair of scissors or with a clipper. Hell, better yet, I hire somebody else to do the lawnmower, take care of my lawn for me, to give me time because I don't have to do it. What are the benefits? You have to find out what's going on, okay? Remember, it makes if you understand what the value that you're adding, it makes the increase more palatable. If the only reason for the price increase is my cost have gone up, the answer you're going to get from me and everybody else is, so how is that my problem? Everybody else's prices are going up. Mine is too. Now, sometimes that's legitimate if you're questioned, but that shouldn't be what you're out there. So what's that got to do with me? Next, write down the disadvantages of a price increase. Okay, go back. This is why I did this one this week, because last week we talked about not discounting. And I in page 27 of my book, I have a chart in there that talks about the effect of raising prices on your profits. If I have a 40% profit margin and I raise my price by 10%, I can lose 1 out of every 5 customers and make the same profit. Crazy, huh? If I'm selling a service, that means I have more time to go after people who actually appreciate what we do and appreciate the value we bring. Or I can work less, or I can have less people. If I'm selling a product, I don't have as much receivables out there. I probably don't need as much inventory. It goes on and on. Selling less products and making the same profit is huge. And it gets better than that. If I have a 20% price increase, I can lose 1 out of 3. So now the question is, well, I'm going to raise my prices, I'm going to lose customers. If I'm going to lose, am I going to lose that many? Probably not. Okay. So the third thing you need to do is there's something that you can add to your product or service that adds value at very little cost, or something you're already doing that you're not explaining to the customer that you're doing. So what I'm talking about is what Dan Kennedy calls creating widgets, which is I don't make it easy for my customers, my clients, to compare me to somebody else because they're trying to, what do you charge for a tax return? Well, that's a standard thing that they can call around. So I don't make it that easy because I add tax planning to it. I do business coaching with it. We'll sit down with you on a quarterly basis and look at your financial statements that increases your profits. There's things like that we talk about. So huge, all right? Don't let yourself be compared. That's one way to do it, all right? Look, don't forget too that there's a certain percentage of your customers that want the best of everything. And that's why it's a strong reason to have good, better, best, and even a Cadillac version. I work with BEK Medical. I've brought them up on these two before, and you can, they sell. Let's say they sell the chairs that help you assist you in standing up, or a scooter. I mean, but the chairs, heck, you can plug in, and you can find them at Walmart. You can find them. Heck, Walgreens has them. Target. You can sit them right there. So you're almost forced to match that price because everybody has it. When somebody comes into the store, though, you need to sell the advantage of working the value of having somebody who's an expert and can talk to you right then and there and help you get the right machine. And the wording is something like this. It's like, well, it's a good product, but it may not be best for you because it's not designed for somebody of your height, your weight, your problem, whatever. I'm not an expert in that area, okay? But I mean, you upsell. And you always have 2, 3, 4, 5 levels because most people will gravitate to the middle, but there are some people that want the best. They want to be able to say they got the best. So don't be afraid to have that. So if you're selling a product and you have strong competition, that's a way to go against them, which is basically match their price on the gateway product that brings them in and then upsell. To do that, you really need to have a good understanding of the product and what is the advantages, the features, advantages, and benefits of each product, and what is the benefit and the advantages of having the more higher priced one than the lower one, all right? Fourth, you have to determine the amount of the increase. I'm not a fan of a large increase, truthfully. Step increases, maybe. Annual increases, some combination. If you're in the service industry, maybe, and I do this, new customers, I raise my prices every year, a little bit. I don't get crazy because what happens, and I saw, who was I working with? Oh, it was a nail salon. And she hadn't raised her prices in like 7 or 8 years. So then all of a sudden she jumped her prices up and people noticed. But if you're going up 5% a year, 2, 3, 5% a year, people expect prices to go up. Simple as that. All right. It's better if you do it in combination with adding value, but if you can't, you just get in the habit of raising a little. And like I said, I personally, the new price list applies to new customers, My older customers, some I leave the same, some I have a small increase. I give them a customer loyalty discount. That's one way I handle it. All right, you can decide how you want to do it. Next thing is the pros and cons of the price increase. I already covered that. Remember, you can lose customers, so I'm going to skip that. The when and how, and whether you should announce it. You know, I'm kind of a strong believer, no, you don't announce it. As simple as that. And then, you know, some people are going to notice it and they're going to ask you about it, and you just say, hey, you know, I saved you. I don't even, it depends on who it is and what it is, and they're like, if they have a legitimate reason and the return hasn't changed that much, or I know they're struggling, I'll adjust the price. But normally, what I charge is what it's worth, and I won't talk about it. It's like, this is what I did. This is how it worked for you. But then again, I usually quote the price in advance. It's just that when I raise the prices, that they may get caught by surprise. But I usually have a reason, and I make sure they understand what the reason is. Things have got more complicated. We're trying to make sure that you actually are paying the lowest possible tax you can, so on and so on. You got to come up with that answer. I'm not a strong believer in announcing your price. I mean, when's the last time you got a price increase letter from your dentist or your doctor or your lawyer or your CPA? It just doesn't happen. All right, so why should you announce it? This is my price today. And if somebody gives you, now, can you adjust it for your best and biggest customers? If you need to. Again, I try to say, here's what the value we're adding. But if that's what it takes, I mean, it's not unusual if you have a customer that's huge and they buy a lot from you to get the best price you can because they're going to shop. Maybe you need to rethink your business model. You shouldn't be that dependent upon it. But there is one good reason to actually announce a price increase, and that's to bring in cash right now. I worked with a landscaping company a while back, and he walked in and said he was going to raise prices. And I'm going to read you the letter that he gave me to review. It said, "Dear yard maintenance customer." So he was going to send it out to, at the beginning of the year for people that he'd worked with. "It's been a pleasure to work with you this year. Thanks so much for trusting me to help make your yard one that you could be proud of. Due to the rising cost of doing business, we'll be raising our rates slightly at the beginning of the year. Our rates will increase by $5 weekly for weekly yard maintenance and $10 for monthly. Our hourly billing rate for all special projects has also increased by $5 an hour. As always, we are committed to providing you high quality yard maintenance and look forward to doing that again for you this year. Thank you." What? Why? Why should I send that letter out? I mean, I'm better off talking to him in person and saying, hey, I'm going to be doing more, whatever. I'm going to skip, the book has the steps we went to, but I'm going to actually step to the final one that we put our heads together and came up with a better version. All right. "Dear landscape maintenance customer, it's been a pleasure working with you this year. Thanks so much for trusting me to help make your yard one that you can be proud of. As a valued customer, I want you to be among the first to schedule our special Spring Beautify Your Landscape Planning meeting." We created a new product for them. All right. "At this meeting, we will develop a unique plan designed to provide you the landscaping of your dreams. We'll also discuss various scheduling needs and any special instructions that you may have. I also encourage you to utilize our old fee scale to its maximum." I kind of snuck in a price increase there. Our old fee schedule. "Packages of 10 landscaping maintenance sessions at the old price are available. They're good for the coming year. Assure yourself of great low-cost landscape maintenance for the next year, or give them as gifts to your friends, family, and colleagues to use. They will be thrilled by your thoughtfulness and the professionally groomed yard. Getting the yard work done with no work involved is a gift that no one ever returns. Act soon. The appointments and gift certificates at the old price only apply to packages and gift certificates paid for before the end of the year. Here's wishing you a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year's." How can you use something like that? I mean, why can't you? Why can't you get paid in advance? There's a lot of things going on in that letter. All right, first of all, we snuck in the price increase. Second of all, brought in about $30,000, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, during a slow season in November, December. Not a lot of people are using landscaping. He also got people to call him in the spring, again, February, March, a lot is going on, to see about doing special projects. He added a lot of special projects. People did buy the tickets at the old price for themselves, but a number of them did buy them as gifts. And almost 80% of those people that were using them got a book of 10. So all of a sudden let's say you're doing it, twice a month. They did 5 months worth. It became a habit. So they kept. So you got a lot of new customers out of that. Notice the difference in that letter and the letter we did the first time. Huge difference in results. So again, I say the only reason to have a price increase letter is really, there's two reasons, I would argue, because we actually did the second reason. But the main reason is to bring in more cash now. All right. Second reason is to bring in new customers and new projects and new work. Remember, the easiest customer to sell is your current customer. They already know you, like you, and trust you. So why not tell them? I mean, they may think of you as a guy that comes in every, once or twice a month to come in and just cut the grass. They didn't know that you did special landscaping projects like this guy. He got a lot of those because he's also announcing the product. And the third, of course, and I said there was only one, now I'm up with the three, it increased his bottom line. All right? So, hey, there is no good reason to actually announce, but there's also announce a price increase, but there's absolutely no good reason to not raise your prices. It's the fastest and easiest way to increase your profits. But it has to be done right. And truthfully, sometimes you got to be like me and get a coach and have him help you. And on that note, be careful. We're going to be starting our coaching program in November. I have a 3-day workshop. I can't remember when it is now. I think it's the week before Thanksgiving. My brain is just froze up. But we'll be announcing it, okay? And it's free. It's worth coming in. We're going to be talking a lot about the stuff that's in the book, but we're also going to cover a lot of things. So anyways, remember, pick this up, by the way. It's still out there, the 90-day profit reset. It's on Amazon. I think the Kindle version is $2.99, $3.99, can't remember. Personally, I like the paperback version because it has all the appendixes right there. But I also have the appendixes online, and the appendixes by themselves are worth thousands of dollars in coaching fees. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.